Hi, everybody. If you haven't taken the time already to watch Do the Right Thing, the whole film, please do. It's such an incredible film. Spike Lee did an amazing job capturing all the nuances of the place and the time and the different points of view and the different motivating forces behind all these people. It's so genuine and true to that period of time. Now on to discussing class versus race in urban Black America in the 80s. I keep going back to bugging out saying, Mookie, stay black. And then the question below that, farther down the page, says, what does that say about how people perceive the reality of blackness? While that particular question is in reference to Vanessa's Rich clip, they both sort of go together. Mookie, stay black. Bugging out is referring to that as his race. But he's identified that class as his race. And Do the Right Thing, it links the class, the lower class, to black as a race. And that's how that neighborhood at that time identified itself. As opposed to Cosby, who had a whole other point of view of what black is. If you watch any of his shows, every black musician, every black person of any note was on that show. And he did a great job of setting a different standard that was completely opposite from the one set in Do the Right Thing. At the time, it was new, and most of America viewed Black Americans like those in Do the Right Thing. But the Cosby Show had a different statement. Some people looked at it as sort of hopeful, as something to strive for, and that it was attainable. The MLK clip is really quite a beautiful scene. It links that whole family to what is genuine and real and connects the Black community as a whole at that time. We struggle with this in our own neighborhood still. I live in a neighborhood, a lot of my neighbors are black, they're doctors, they're lawyers, they're engineers, they're biracial, all different types of families live here. And but my daughter went to a school in a less economically affluent neighborhood. And I used to look at it as a class difference, but it was not. It was a race difference. All the white kids in that class came from my neighborhood. We opted into that school. The majority of the other students who lived in that neighborhood were black. And it goes on up through their high school. By the time we get to our high school, they consider it to be almost two separate schools. There's the upper half, which is primarily white, and the lower half, which is primarily black. They're in different classes. They're leveled down. They don't get the opportunity still to attain, to gain, to do more. It's not as bad, but it's a lot like the division between the races in the 80s. We have a coalition on race in our community, but it's still so hard to separate that distinction between class and race. A lot of the black families in my neighborhood, many send their kids to private schools because I have heard that many are prejudiced against because they're color. It's shameful to me that this still happens, and right here in my hometown, in a town that's highly, highly diverse, and prides itself on that. Nevertheless, our high school is divided. So it goes back. It's the same thing as it was. It's do the right thing in Cosby. Still here. Maybe a little less, maybe more people have gained, maybe more people are on the Cosby side of the fence, but nevertheless, it is still there. And where I once believed it was a societal issue, I believe it is a race issue. And I hope that we can further these discussions and open them up and really provide some change. Thank you.